We are currently recording. So hello again. My name is Dede and I'm a Senior Academic Technology Support Specialist here at Marist College. And today I'd like to welcome you to the iLearn demo with Dede. I'll be showing you the latest technologies that are available to instructors using iLearn. And starting July 30th, 2016, we'll be upgrading the iLearn system to bring it up to date with the most recent version of its underlying software called Sky. This upgrade provides a cleaner, modern user interface, additional tools, and a number of enhancements to many of the tools you currently use. You will not need to relearn the system, and all of your existing content will still be available in all your core sites. The changes I displayed today are just improvements in the way the system is working, from the new responsive design to the improvements in the lessons tool, and additional tools that offer advantages to both the instructor and the student. Today I'll focus on some of the changes we've made and an overview of how to use the tools. Right now I'm going to share my screen, and you will see see it just one moment. Excellent. It'll take just a second. I'm going to go back and make sure that everything is visible. Great. And give me one more moment. And I'm going to make sure, Dana, that you are now unmuted and can talk. So I do ask if you have any background noises that you mute yourself. Would that be fair?
Sure, absolutely.
Excellent. Another housekeeping detail is the fact that the screen colors are very different. So I am going to mute you. I am getting a feedback.
Okay.
So as you can see on the screen, the colors are very, very different than what we'll be using with Sakai after Saturday. This is what's called a quality assurance or a QA testing system. And this is where we do all our pre-production work to make sure that all the tools work the way we would like them to. So after the upgrade, where it says Sakai here in the upper left-hand corner, it will say iLearn, and the colors will change to be more Marist-centric. So let's begin. So as you can see just by the layout here that the look is completely different than it has been in the past. The interface has some new characteristics, and of this redesigned interface, and you'll see that iLearn is easily more viewable on smaller screens and such as tablets and mobile devices. So starting with some of the basic and overall changes, we have when you log in, this is the landing page, you land what is now called Home. And it used to be called My Workspace. So this is now called Home, and as you can see, the tools have not changed terribly much. In this view, you can see that the message of the day is still in the upper left-hand corner, the calendar, announcements, and anything that has to do with your personal workspace. And this includes the aggregate messages from each of the sites that you're currently in. The tools in My Workspace have not changed dramatically. Those were very effective tools, and we needed to make no changes to them. One of the nice things that I do see in this version of Sky, or for now soon to be iLearn, is the Sites button in the upper right-hand corner. If you click on that, you'll see that we now have a listing of all the sites that you are in as an instructor or student, and you can choose which of those you want to show in the top banner. To do that, just click the little star next to the name of it, and to add it back into your favorites, it goes right back by clicking on the star again. You can organize these, so let's say you have many of them. I believe you've taught for quite some time, and you may have a few that you use for the school, but then you have those favorites that are those that you go back to that are outside of your class. To rearrange them, these are very easily drag and drop. As you can see, I can pick them up and drag them around to put them in the order in which I would use them the most. You can create a new site from here as well. This would be where you would start your site for the fall semester. You would start from creating your site from a template, which we don't have listed here yet because this is, again, a temporary site. After Saturday, all that functionality will be in place. Let's make sure I caught everything there. I think so. All right. So now we're going to access our site. And as you can see, the breadcrumb trail at the top has also changed. If you just roll over it, it tells you where you are, and the breadcrumb is to where you're going, and we're currently in the worksite setup of the home page. The same thing will work throughout the use of your class sites. So I've made a demo site. And as you can see from the demo site, this is a little bit familiar for some of the changes that we have done. Last year, we had done some changes to the layout of iLearn so that it more reflected in preparation for this upgrade. And I hope that you can see the changes are not as drastic as some people were expecting. So some immediate changes in navigation, these are the first things I'd like to make sure that you can see, is I'm in this site as an administrator, but along the top I'm going to show you how I'm going to unpublish this site so it's no longer available for student view. So I'm going to go to the site info. And in this particular instance, I'm going to, where's my external tools, manage access. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm going to make this draft. And this is to show you. In the past, we had always had the Publish Now site button in the upper left-hand side above the navigation menu. We've changed it so that there's a bright yellow banner at the top, and the Publish Now button is located in the middle. So at any point during the time of creation of the site and uploading of content and creation of content, you'll know that the site is not available for the students to view. When you wish to publish the site, click Publish Now, and the page will refresh and let you know that the site is now available for the students to see. So the overview is like the My Workspace, but it's for the site itself. There's obviously information about the site itself here. We have a calendar in the upper right-hand corner, and this aggregates all the information within the site that has deadlines, the announcements, and the message center. So we've slightly changed where things are located in order to make it sizable for the page. Now I'm going to jump up here and come on, baby, show up. There we go. I just want to unmute you and ask, do you have any questions on any of this so far?
No. I'm going to wait because it may be something you talk about, or if I've missed it, I apologize. Will we be able to, if we have classes already loaded from like last semester, can we import them?
There's no changes to your content.
Okay.
So last year, let's just say you're making your fall site after we upgrade.
Right.
You would again follow the same behaviors that you had in the past of site import and bringing in your content from the semester before. But you will be able to. The gradebook will not import the framework of the gradebook. So it's just best to rebuild it in the new gradebook. Okay. The other items that you might see some changes is, let me think, the lessons tool will come over as it has been last semester, but you'll be allowed to edit it in these new tools.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, I'm going to mute you again. I'll check in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so, excuse me. The first thing to pay attention to here is that this is a responsive design. So I'm going to make the screen a little bit smaller. And I want you to see how it changes when I shrink the screen. And you'll notice that the left-hand navigation menu is now gone. The tools have now been moved up here to the top. Okay, and the tool list begins there, and I'm going to go back to the overview. And your sites is listed in the upper right. So this would work on a mobile device such as an iPad or your phone, although it'll be harder to read on such a small font. But as you can see, if scrolling down, I'm going to page down on this, that each of the tools is now bundled one on top of the other so that they can be scrolled through. The responsive design was a big undertaking for the community. Having this be part of the tools, I believe that we're one of the only LMSs that is fully responsive. This is mobile-ready navigation. So again, the breadcrumb trail at the top will also be condensed. And I'm going to also hide the navigation on the left-hand side to show you what the buttons will look like as well on smaller devices. A few other navigational issues I just want to show you, but they're not issues, but they're benefits and features. I'm in the course site, and quite often you're building something out and you find that you're just not sure if the students can see it. We've changed a visual interface, for example, on forums here. There's a little eye icon with a slash through it, which means the students can't see it. It's the same with the course content. And what I've done is hidden that course content so that during, as I build out my course site, and this is speaking for myself using the lessons tool, I don't want the student to go to other tools to get to the information. I want them to go in the order in which I present it to the student. So for fun, let's just make a new announcement, and I'll show you a little bit more about how things will look a little different. I'm going to add a new announcement. This is the new CK editor. It's a WYSIWYG editor. It's a tool that is deployed throughout all of the other tools, such as forums, testing quizzes, announcements, the lessons tool. This is pervasive throughout all of iLearn. The tool can now be resized in the window, and typing. Whoops, title. Be nice if I could type today, huh? The screen is what you see is what you get. So it's a title, and I'm going to make it a nice big title, make it a heading, and I want the size to be, 12. I want it a little smaller. Oh, maybe that's not good enough. Let me go a little larger. And I can change the color, and I can change the background. Let's say for fun, I'm going to make it a Marist red. Now, during the time that I've done this, you had noticed, hopefully, that we received what is called an autosave. Autosave is a new feature. As you can see, it's on the screen now. Quite often there's been a complaint from people who are doing long forum posts or writing a paragraph, and they get disconnected from the system. So we've changed the system so that it auto-saves so that someone can come back into it and edit it and not lose their place. I wouldn't consider it I would consider it very, very important that the students note that it's being saved, but it may only have caught the last save, so they might lose a sentence or two if they're saving, if they get disconnected using a mobile device. So as you can see, what you see is what you get throughout the system. There are some new tools in here, such as an audio recorder. I'll click on that to give you an idea of what that looks like. I have 180 seconds to start recording. On this QA system, we do not have it turned on at the moment. All you would do is start recording, stop recording, and then you could post the recording. This seems to be very good for languages or for specific questions that you want responded to in a certain way with maybe possibly a sentence or in preparation for a presentation. The standards in an announcement tool are the same. These are the same settings. And I'm going to cancel this because I don't want it to show up in our demo site. Okay, I'm going to come back up to Dana and make sure that you're doing all right over there. How are we doing?
Doing very well. This looks wonderful.
I agree. I think it looks fantastic as well. All right, I'll keep going.
Thank you.
I'm going to show you a little bit more about the tool order. That's located under the site editor. So in the site info, excuse me, there's a tool order. The tool order used to be called the page order helper in last semester, and this semester it's now called the tool order, which seems to be a little clearer. And as you can see, the tools are drag and drop. So let's just say I would prefer that we have our Webex information at the very top because I'm going to have a lot of that. These are all drag and drop. Or maybe I just don't want the students to see it as yet. I would click on the little wheel, and it allows me to edit the tool title. If I would like to call it something other than Webex info, I could. I'm going to choose not to do that at the moment. I'm also allowed at this time to make this tool invisible to students. I've done so, and as you can see, the eye icon reminds you as the instructor that you've hidden this from student view. It's very nice to reorder these tools and to know which ones are hidden so you as the instructor can see them in the order in which you would like to see them on the left-hand frame as well. I'm going to save that. Great. And as you can see, I'll go back to the home and the overview. The site has changed slightly to show those changes. Webex is now hidden. Okay. I'm going to talk a little bit about Webex, which is a new tool that we're deploying this semester. This is requested on a case-by-case basis, and that will be requested through academic technology, or you can just reach out to the help desk and they'll make a request for you. I will show you a little bit about this. Webex is the actual application that you've signed into to have this webinar. So it offers a broad range of wonderful tools, which include the advanced video and voiceover and recording technology. It's very good to have that synchronous conversation with a student to share that multimedia content that you may have in a particular section of your course. Of course, this can be recorded. Now, one of the nice things I'm showing you during this, this is an embedded PDF file from Webex. But as you can see, there's been a change in the tool. And this is actually the lessons tool, which we'll talk about in a second. I'm going to move on, excuse me for one moment. I have a little tickle in my throat. I apologize. I'm going to move on now to the grade book. The grade book is so pretty. I very much like this grade book. As you can see, the layout of the gradebook has changed quite a bit. This is a gradebook that is set up for categories and weighting. So I set up the grade entries. So I'll click on that, and it chooses the points. How I'd wish to release these items to the student and what I'd like them to see. The categories and weighting. So I've broken it down by things the categories that I think are most important for my class. And I've also offered some extra credit, and I can easily add a category here. Removing the items is on the left-hand side. Enabling the drop highest, drop lowest, and enable keep highest is a very wonderful little use of this tool as well. And then finally, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit more to the grading schema, just so that you can see what it's defaulting to. And at this time, I believe it's defaulting to the Marist grading schema. I'm going to close out of that. Now, some of the items that have come across for our instructor and our students here is items that have come from other places. We have a final assessment. We have other exams, and those are coming from the test and quizzes tool. We have attendance and participation and communication. Some of those come from forum posts directly. So once they come from another tool, that's the tool that you would do the grading within. But for attendance and participation, that might be a little bit more subjective for the instructor. So you would just make a gradebook item within this tool and be able to edit and grade. Now this is more in a spreadsheet format, which makes things a little easier to use. Let's say for a second here that I think that Marist Student 02 didn't do so well. I'm changing my mind about that 88, and I'm giving them a 77. If you noticed, the screen showed a little check mark to say that you've just saved this 77. And again, here I'm going to give this person a 75. They were in the same group and they didn't do so well. Again, the green check mark shows that you have now made a change to this particular item. Another thing I'd like to show you on this is that I've grouped it by category. And here, excuse me, I can show how I want to view each of these items' details for that participation. Finally, I'm going to click on Let's pick a student who's has all their grades in. Let's choose student 04. And as you can see, I can now see just for that particular student, so let's just say it was Mary Marist, I can see how well they're doing in assignments, in attendance and participation. And the interface now allows me to compact some of those items so we can review them one-on-one or just by the section that they're pertinent to. Excuse me. The nicest thing is you can now print that. Oh, I do apologize. At the bottom of that screen, you were also able to go to the next student or the previous student. Fabulous. I think I've caught everything there that was pertinent to that particular tool in a short webinar such as this. Any questions, Dana?
Oh, no, Dana, I was starting to type to you. No, thank you. Everything looks wonderful. I'm so excited.
Okay, great. I'm going to move on to the lessons tool from here.
Great, thank you.
Moving on to the lessons tool. I've renamed my lessons tool called Lessons Start Here, and I did that in the Page Order Helper tool, so that this way I could direct a student to start at this spot and nowhere else. As you can see from the top, we have a section, and we have now 3 columns, which is different than what we had last semester. The fun part about this is you can add multiple columns and multiple sections. Of course, being that this is mobile, it is also mobile to look at here. The screen has redrawn. The breadcrumb trail is still available. And as you can see, the columns have now compressed underneath each other so they can be used on a mobile device such as a phone or an iPad and still be viewable to the next page. The tool's been simplified and has additional items, but they make a lot of sense. The pluses and the edit button. So we have the ability to edit the responsive design, trash the item, this responsive design item, or add another one. You can add it above or below. You can break an item, you can add pictures, you can embed them on the page. This is similar behavior as to what was in the past, but the ability to add these kinds of sections is different. At this moment, let me show you what it's like to embed something into the site. So I'm going to add a new item in here. I can either add text, embed content on this page, add links, or a subpage. A subpage is like the ones above it, and they will go to a brand new page. Section breaks are all the way across the screen. So a section break, one second, is like the banner on the top and on the bottom. The areas in blue and yellow. So section breaks go fully above. A column break would mean that you wish to make a 4th column or a 5th column, which might become a little difficult for usability for the student, but just so you understand that you can do that. Link to an assignment, link to a testing quiz, or a forum topic. Let's just add a forum topic. I'm going to select one of the forums that I've already prepared for this class. I'm going to use that selected item. And as you can see, with the icon showing there, these are folders, so they're going to move us on to something else. in a resource or another page within the system. The icons now also show, so this is a forum, a communication tool. And this also matches the tool ID here. So since we've hidden the forums, the only way for the student to get to that tool, to get to the content that you feel is important, is to give them a link within the lesson. And on this page, I want the student to read the entire page before they move on to the next item, so they would have to scroll the entire thing. I'm going to move on to Introduction to iLearn. This is a new subpage that I'd created. And as you can see, it has 2 columns at the top, and I've embedded video. One of our newest features is the ability for students to add their own page. And I'm sure that there's lots of ideas that a faculty member may have so that the student can add their own content in order to bring that forward in a discussion possibly within the class. The lesson's new features I've added to this page. And since you're seeing this particular class in the instructor's point of view, this would be what it would look like to you as you are going through and making your content. This is a lot of text, and it's kind of difficult to read, but you can, by resizing it, you can see that it would be easier for the student on possibly their iPad. For them, it would not look nearly so text heavy because they'd be scrolling through it over time and not have all the text on one complete page. I find that the tool order is just too long. I don't like the section of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this section here into 2 columns. I'd like it to be 2 columns, and I'd like to change the color of it so that it's a little more obvious that this is something I want the student to pay attention to. I'm going to turn it green, and I'm going to hit Save. That allows me to add more content that will flow between this section and this section. So here I might add more text or embed content on the page, such as a picture or a video, or maybe a URL to something with outside in a YouTube video. And that would be where I would place it here in this section. Now, I've talked with you already about Webex, so you're comfortable with that. So let's go on to some tests and quizzes. That's always fun to do assessments. What did our students learn in that class? Now, I've made a couple of assessments, but the first one I find the most fun, and that is the newest question type, is called a hotspot. So I'm going to edit this to show you what it looks like. And I'm going to edit this question so you can see how I built it. When you add a question to an assessment, you get the option of which question type. Is it multiple choice? Is it a hotspot? Is it a fill in the blank? Is it a matching question? I had chosen hotspot here. I gave a point value of 50 points. I've told them what I want them to do, and as you can see, the rich text editor shows, which opens up our CK editor, our WYSIWYG editor, if you want to put more detailed information in. Then what I did was I chose a file. In this case, I chose a picture with 3 icons on it. Highlighting that picture allows me to edit which items go with which answers. I allowed for partial credit, and all I did was drag and drop. So for example, I'm going to add a 4th item here, which is now in green, and I'm going to call this area number 4, and I'm going to call it white space. To get the answer right, the student would have to choose all 4 of the answers in all 4 of the places. So as you can see, these are the correct spots for the answers 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the hot spots. And then I would update the points or add a new question. It's quite good for visualization. And at the moment, unfortunately, because I'm into a server that isn't actually iLearn, I won't be able to show you all the details of it. I do find that to be one of my more favorite tools. One of the newest other features with the test and quizzes tool is the user activity report. This allows us to see which student is doing what. So, for example, student 03 has just not done any of their homework as it comes to assessments. They haven't taken any of the exams, and it's a good probability that if they don't catch up, they could fail this class. And that's our updates on test and quizzes. Any questions, Dana?
No, thank you. No, it's going fine.
Excellent. At this time, this is all of my top-level highlights having to do with the system that I would expect that you would most use pretty quickly. Do you have any questions about anything detailed in your particular classes or anything that you need?
Not yet. I think this opens up some really interesting possibilities, but now I need to think about how to make as much use out of all of these lovely improvements. It's very impressive. It looks great.
Well, I'm very glad that you like what we've done. We are excited to bring it to you. And at this time, I think we can end this webinar.
Wonderful. And you said this has been recorded or is recorded, and then it will be available so that because I know I will have to come back here and look a few times to make sure I'm doing it correctly.
Absolutely. And we also, since this is a light overview, feel free to reach out to join us for our August Institute, which will be happening at the end of August. We'll be offering one-on-one sessions, webinars, face-to-face Saturday and evening classes, so this way you can have some more hands-on experience with it as well.
Wonderful.
We have all the help documentation will be linked off the help. Oh, also our help menu has changed dramatically as well. So that's been updated to meet the needs of our clientele.
That's fantastic. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I hope you have a great semester.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.